Hey, this is MPFSU. I got a couple things I want to talk about today, and we're gonna get into it. Mainly, that's a topic that's been on my mind, and it's kind of resurfaced on my mind since I watched a culprit YouTube video talking about the new DLC to capture the flag that's coming to Battlefield 3. Um, if any of you've played Battlefield since the beginning, the first game was based in World War II. And there was a mod made for this game. In the 1942 Battlefield, it was all about the vehicles. You did have infantry combat, but that the fun part was definitely having those vehicles and having all those targets out there as far as the infantry and other vehicles to take on, and having these big open battlefields. I mean, that was the name of the title of the series. And so there was a DC mod, a mod made for Battlefield 1942. Brought it into a modern setting, and it was called Desert Combat. And that brought in, all of the modern vehicles as well as, modern weapons. The soldiers looked modern and everything like that. And also had a capture the flag mode, which would be played on this huge maps. I mean, just very huge. There was no way you would want to go around this map unless you were in a vehicle. It was vehicle dominant map, and that was the mode capture the flags played on it. You would capture the flag, you would get in a vehicle, you would take off, and everybody, even in jets, they can see you on the mini map driving off with this flag. And I mean, obviously, a lot of times you want to be in the fastest vehicle so you can capture. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot funner. Well, fun is not a good word to use, but it was a lot better than your traditional capture the flag mode, mainly because of the vastness of the maps, and that you didn't run into these problems where people would just run out and just play team deathmatch, which a lot of these modes devolve into. They always devolve into a lot of times team deathmatch, and no one is ever even playing the objective. Because you have all this infantry running around in these other games. But what Battlefield introduces to the capture the flag formula is it kind of eliminates that. Eliminates that team deathmatch moment, and it makes it more about the objective. And so you have to want to have a corral of guys riding vehicles, protecting the guy that's carrying the flag in another vehicle. And it turns into some very good fun. It's a whole lot of fun. The mode was a whole lot of fun then, and I feel it's going to be a whole lot of fun now, mainly because the vehicles. That's what's going to make it fun. I remember from then it was fun then, and that was part of that. But there's some other things that has come to mind, and this mainly there's a group of people that play Battlefield that came into the game playing Bad Company. Bad Company was a departure from the original Battlefield series, and it was kind of tailor made for consoles. Because Battlefield 64, I believe that had 64 players, and the original Battlefield did, and Battlefield, the modern Battlefield 2, also had 64 players, because you had these expansive maps, and you needed enough players to have the action stay constant. And that's what's the beautiful thing about Battlefield 3 is it works great on the PC because you can have those 64 players, and it exudes the what the Battlefield series is about. Now, but it seems like a lot of people want to turn Battlefield 3 into Bad Company 3. And I really disagree with that. I think Bad Company it's in its own right a game that DICE used to kind of hone their skills, because the infantry combat in the Battlefield series was not the big part of it. It was mostly about the vehicles, and the infantry combat was lackluster. But people loved the vehicles, so that's why in the amount of players that you had on the game. So that's what made the game popular. But it was something that needed to be addressed, because you had games that had came out like the Modern Warfare series, and that was Infinity going from a World War II game into a modern setting, and kind of taking that modern setting crown from Battlefield. And so, and it was based on infantry combat. Everybody was into it because it was very intense, and they did, Infinity does a really good job at that. That soldier on soldier combat in these nice close quarters type maps. So Bad Company was not necessarily the same thing as Call of Duty, but it was a good in between where you still had vehicles, but they were more of a support role. Not really a lot of vehicle on vehicle battles. It was mostly infantry on vehicles, and vehicles mainly being support and have to stay off because there's a lot of tight corridors on the maps. So you would start off, the maps are still huge, but you start off in an open area, then move into a city portion, and then you move to the next part, and then maybe even tight close quarters, and then they created rush mode that allowed for a lot of intense infantry combat scenarios because you were starting off at one side of the map, and then you would end the game on the other side. And that was fun for what it was, but it really wasn't Battlefield. I mean, it was a departure from it. And they used that game, to really hone in on their infantry combat skills because they had to, because the vehicles, there weren't any airplanes, no jets, no bombers. There were only tanks and helicopters. And so it really had to, they really had to elevate their game as far as the infantry combat, and they did that. And so they brought that back over to Battlefield 3, and this Battlefield 3 is the third in the series from, behind Battlefield 2, which was a big open map. And this map that we're looking at here is a good example. This is Gulf of Oman. This is one of the most popular maps that was on the on Battlefield 2, and even a lot of Battlefield veterans feel like they kind of shrunk this map to kind of make it more better for the consoles and tighten up the infantry combat, which I don't mind. That was great. It helps to do that because it makes the game even more fun. If you can add some extra flavor to it, it's always going to be great. But let's not try to turn Battlefield into Bad Company. And I know DICE is working on a couple of titles, it seems, and they may be working on another Bad Company 3, and let that be Bad Company. Let's not try to turn this game into Bad Company, because it's not. It's Battlefield. Bad Company is mostly what a lot of people like. They do like that, and that what brought them over to the Battlefield series. But let's not forget that this is the original. This is what started it all. This is what made the game popular, and we should not want to trend away from this. We should want to embrace this and let it be what it is. And if you don't like that, if you don't like that style of gameplay, you don't like a lot of vehicles, that's fine. I can understand that. There's a lot of people that prefer the infantry on infantry combat, and it seems like Battlefield does a great job of catering to both of those audiences. And so I think we got Aftermath, which was a lot like Bad Company, and some of it is from what they got from Strike at Karkan, which was a infantry heavy map, and a lot of people like that map, but a lot of people also like Gulf of Oman, which is another, like I said, another wide open vehicle heavy map. I mean, it's going to be dominant with the vehicles. You're going to need to be engineer on this map. You're going to have the support with C4 and all those other things, and so you're going to need everybody kind of working together, as a team. I think they do a great job of they've done a great job of balancing these game modes and making it work for everyone, so everybody can take part in it. And they had Armored Kill, which was definitely heavy for heavy vehicle base. I think they still did a great job on it. It still has some balancing issues, but there's a lot of games that have balancing issues, so it's nothing new there. But yeah, it is what it is. I mean, they created the Armored Kill for those who like vehicles. I think one of the problems though, and one of my buddies, he likes playing with tanks, and he loves the tank, but a lot of the modes, even the Tank Superior mode, there was really no main battle tanks in it, so it was kind of disheartening with that. But I still thought it was a great job. I think they did a great job. I still play the Armored Kill maps. I enjoy playing them. I enjoy hopping in vehicles. I enjoy the infantry on infantry combat as well. I like playing Aftermath as well. I like those maps. I think it's a good mix. So because I haven't even picked up Call of Duty. I did pick up the other game that they had, the other game that EA bought out, the I can't even think of it. That's why I said it's not even worth mentioning because I can't even think of the name of it right now. But anyway, they do a good job. I don't even need to go anywhere for the infantry combat. I can get that in Battlefield. If I want to get in vehicles and play that way, I can do that on Battlefield. I can get pretty much everything I would need as far as a first-person shooter out of this game, and I've enjoyed it thus far. And I hate to see it end. It's going to end on this end in the game DLC, but I think for those who are a fan of the original Battlefield series are going to really like this mode. And I think those that are used to Bad Company 2 and they like that game, they should still give it a try. It should be a lot of fun. It's not going to be your cover to cover based combat that you used to, but it's still going to be a lot of fun, and I think it's worth giving it a shot. So that's all I have to say on that matter. And looks like this might be my last run on the helicopter chopper anyway. So I'm gonna head and end it on that. And nothing, no disrespect for those who like that type of gameplay. I think it's still fun to do, but I think I like the fact that DICE tries to do a variety of things and not just hone in on one thing. And yeah, so hopefully we'll be getting a good game in Battlefield 4, and Bad Company 3 will be Bad Company 3 for those who like that. And then I'll definitely give that a shot, especially if it's going to be done in this engine, because I think that was my main reason I did not like Bad Company, because I didn't really like the animations, didn't really like the graphics. Yes, I'm a graphics whore, and what, but I really didn't like it. I thought the infantry combat was fine, but I thought I got better more of that in COD, so I could have just played COD if I really wanted that. Not really much on the vehicle end of things. I mean, I played both games. I played Bad Company 2. I bought that when I played the Bad Company original one too. I purchased that one, so I played a good bit of both of those games. I just didn't kind of stick with them once COD came out, so I kind of just moved over there once that came out. But that's all I'm gonna talk about today. Thanks for watching the channel, and hope to speak to you soon. Peace.